I was born and raised in Detroit. I love my city. I adore all the growth and the architecture and all the amazing things we've accomplished, whether it be Motown or the automotive industry. And as I've traveled the world and spent time and lived in different places, I find that there's no place like home. Detroit will always be home to me, and it'll always be a place that I love. I love this staple, which is amazing. And it really inspired me to do my podcast, which is called Detroit Girl Transformed. I decided to do this podcast on Resilient Radio, which is a Black-owned station based in Detroit. And it really highlights the transformation of my city while I, as an individual, was transforming. And what kind of people come out of Detroit, which are really people with hustle and grit, who are determined and also exhibit perseverance. The podcast will really focus on different people that have different phases of transformation, whether it be their finances, their well-being, their travel experiences, how they transform their relationships, how they transform their spiritual beliefs. Because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing, and that's what's best for our city, and that's what's best for our legacy and our future and our family. Hey, it's your favorite Detroit girlie, Toni Carter from Detroit Girl Transform. Can you believe that we are wrapping up season 2 of this podcast? It has been an honor and a privilege to work with so many transformative guests who have shared their journey, their movement, as well as their inspiration with many of us. In this episode, we're going to highlight some of my favorite moments and some things that really inspired me to continue to lead this journey of transformation. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. And please check us out every Tuesday at 9 p.m. on the Resilient Radio stream. You can catch the prior seasons on Spotify, Amazon, and Apple Music, as well as YouTube. It's transformation time, baby. And I think a couple of things that you're touching on. One is the unspoken communication, the unspoken unconscious bias, the unspoken thoughts that are going on in our head. So I think that's very powerful to, really focus on being prepared and establishing credibility in the very beginning so people know that you are who you say you are, because that's how you capture the audience as you move into the conversation. And so getting that done front side probably is the most important.
The thing of building executive presence means that you got accountability in your life. People who can talk to you very straight, who can tell you when you're right, who can tell you when you're wrong. People who love you but are not impressed by you at all because they're able to give it to you in a way that they care, which informs you, which allows you to make the adjustments, I want to use the word again, adaptations that you need to make sure that you do come off well in those public settings where people are weighing, judging, assessing you on a regular basis.
So tax planning is future focused. Tax prep, we're looking in the past. Tax planning is proactive. Tax prep is reactive. Let's start to get proactive with our approach to our taxes. I want you to start to think about every expense that you incur and take it through this filter that I like to call SAVE. Does it support the business? Is it actually used? Is it value conscious? And is it essential?
This season of Love Island has been nothing more than unpredictable and, quite frankly, crazy. And only thing when Clark came in, it just confirmed. Like, sometimes somebody that you keep asking to do something, right?
Yeah.
You see them unprompted do it with somebody else. You just have to come back and realize you wasn't the one, and it's okay because you're somebody's person.
Everything else. But Liz, for me, is an inspiration for me and anybody that's sitting there wondering, can I do it? Should I do it? Am I able to do it? She answered that every single day when she shows up. And like I said, he's going, he's pushing. Say, tight, that's what you need. Even as big as he is, when he gets to the point and you got 1 or 2 left, that's when you know you stop. This is when you stop. You don't stop at the level number, you stop there. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
All right. Well, John, you made that look easy, by the way. So I think I won't be complaining about my 20, 30 pounds.
No, we gonna lift.
Yeah, we gonna lift. So
yes, that's the one thing we do. More active lifestyle. We lift.
I always believe your authority is in your authenticity. And that's why out of my counseling center, my heart is, as I named OM, it was like my goal to get people out of their mind and into their life. And that's our tagline, itemizing into life. When I started envisioning myself beyond what I kept seeing in the dream, I had to put it in my feet. And that's what faith without work is dead. Right? So you got to work your faith.
We're naturally empathic, we're compassionate, and so sometimes that means we will consistently put the needs of other people before our own, not realizing that if we're on E, if we're empty, how can we help other people? And so that's what I try to do. My whole approach to self-care is, how can I put myself in the best position possible for me to function at my best? And that's going to impact everybody.
So we said it every single day. They stood up and they said, I am somebody, and we turned it into a chant. And so I would, they would say it going down the hall. They would say it, wherever they, at home. Their parents were saying it. Their friends were saying it. Until it's one of those things where you believe it. That's the investment. You're investing in the future. You're investing in the kids that are going to lead one day. The stories that come out of that investment is what's really important. And so I think that's the work that we again get to do. And even the kids that are coming out of a school like leadership prep, it's like that's what's important. Like the way you're pouring into them and saying I'm a leader, and where they're going as they have those high school interviews, it's like that's the investment. That's what you've been telling them since they were 5.
I may be good at these things, but like maybe my presentation skills aren't fantastic, or maybe this isn't good. Like asking for help, and I know I'm not probably the best person to go say that because I struggle to ask for help too. But I think it's a matter of like that humility of knowing that we've all got strengths and weaknesses, and we're not perfect at everything. That's why it takes teams to deliver good things. And so, hey, I'm good at this. I can help that person, but I'm not good at this. How can they help me?
I think that often we think we can multitask, but we really can't. So sometimes just being present in the moment and not thinking about the future or the past, but living in the moment is something that I'm working on. And it is really helping me with well-being as well as mindfulness.
Right, and so having mentors that taught me that theme allowed me to be better, well-rounded, more successful, and then it also got me to be in rooms and have different kinds of conversations. Because if I have one thought, then that's one perspective. But I now had to have a broad perspective and allow me to think about from a marketing perspective, from a finance perspective, from a sales perspective, from operations, not just sales, if you will. So for me, having mentors that really help me be more well-rounded, understanding is not always personally about me, that you have to invest in those that you work with and those around you. And again, that's where I was more successful. And so really having a mentor like that made me a better, well-rounded leader in how to manage people.
I do have it all and I can have it all, just not all at the same time.
I always say that. When everyone asks me a question about work-life balance, and I say, you can have it all, but nobody says you can have it all at once.
Can't have it all at once. I prioritize giving them access to ballet and lacrosse and soccer, keeping them active, keeping them moving. So I'm hoping that all of what we've done and how I also display rest and respite, how I model it for them, helps them to be the best possible humans that God designed them to be, and the world will be in receipt of.
Wow. That is, when you're raising children, you're sending little humans out to make a contribution to the world.
Because they're not mine.
Yeah.
I'm just a caretaker for like a short period of time.
We have a visionary leader, Dr. Curtis Lewis, and we are held to a high standard. And it is not something that is unspoken, right? There is a tool case or a toolbox that we follow, and it is our core values. So in this order: love and care, integrity, commitment, and execution. And we are expected to live by those, not just work by those, but live by those amongst each other and certainly out with the community. Not only finding what your strengths are, but finding that space that you're most vulnerable in, you're not so good at, and pushing us to research that, pushing us to learn that more, right? So, I can write all day, I can do HR stuff all day, I can, organize stuff, I can create policies and procedures, but that fund development piece for me was different because I had never done it before. What I do know how to do is build relationships.
Yeah.
Right? But I didn't know fund development, right? So stepping out there into your space of uncomfortability and being able to become an expert in that. So I hope I kept that.
Thank you for joining us for a trip down memory lane. So many gems were shared in season 2. Lots of great things to highlight. I'm truly honored and privileged to be a part of such an amazing transformative journey with all of you. Stay tuned for all the amazing content and episodes for season 3. Check us out every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Resilient Radio stream. It's transformation time, baby.